Beloved listeners, I welcome you with a quiet gratitude. You could be anywhere right now, distracted, rushing, postponing the very life you want, yet you have chosen to sit with these words. That decision alone is not small. It is the first signal that you are ready to build something steadier, stronger, and more unshakable than motivation, a routine that does not collapse the moment life grows inconvenient. So breathe for a moment. Settle in. Let us take this slowly, carefully. The way anything durable must be built, beloved listeners, the world will try to sell you shortcuts. It will whisper that discipline is simply motivation stretched out across time. It will tell you that you must feel powerful before you act powerful, that you must be inspired before you begin. But those of us who have watched many seasons come and go know a quieter truth. Beginnings rarely feel glorious. They feel small, often inconvenient, sometimes irritating. And yet they are everything. A routine is not a schedule. It is not a list of habits taped to a mirror. A routine is a story you tell yourself about who you are becoming, and then you repeat that story through action until it becomes true. Let us begin with the first pillar. Clarity. Most people fail not because they are weak, but because they are foggy. They wake up floating in the haze of, "What should I do?" They rely on their morning emotions to determine their direction, and emotions are notoriously unreliable trustees. If you want an unstoppable routine, you must remove the question marks. Replace them with decisions made in advance when you're calm, rational, and not seduced by comfort. Clarity means naming only a few essential actions. A routine becomes unstoppable not by being long, but by being non-negotiable. Think of an old investor carefully selecting only a handful of assets he is willing to hold through storms. You must do the same with your daily commitments. Choose the few actions that, if repeated daily, compound into a life you are proud of. The second pillar is friction, or rather, the removal of it. People romanticize discipline, but discipline often looks like something very unromantic. Rearranging your environment so the right actions are easier than the wrong ones. If you want to read every morning, leave the book where your hand lands when you wake. If you want to write, open yesterday's unfinished paragraph before you go to sleep. If you want to start exercising, prepare your clothes the night before so your morning self has no decisions to make. You are not built to win a wrestling match against your own future fatigue. You are built to design conditions in which that wrestling match never needs to happen. The third pillar is humility. Most routines die because people begin with arrogance. They believe they can reshuffle their entire life overnight. They create elaborate schedules, color-coded plans, and perfect checklists, and then collapse after 3 days because they tried to sprint a marathon. This is not failure. This is physics. Life punishes extremes and rewards consistency. Start smaller than you think you need to. Small enough that you feel mildly embarrassed by the simplicity of it. A routine becomes unstoppable when it becomes unskippable. You do not build resilience by pushing at full force until you break. You build it by showing up at a level you can sustain even on your worst days. There will be days when your energy is thin, when your patience is worn, when the world feels heavier than usual. Your routine must survive those days, not just the inspiring ones. Now, let us talk about the fourth pillar, compounding. In investing, compounding is not magic. It is math. Small returns, patiently reinvested, grow into something extraordinary. Routines operate the same way. A single day of effort feels insignificant. A week feels modest. A month feels encouraging. A year feels transformative. And a decade feels like destiny. If you want an unstoppable routine, measure your life not in days but in directions. Do not ask, "Was today perfect?" Ask instead, "Did I move the story one sentence forward?" Because the truth is that consistency, even when quiet, even when imperfect, outperforms intensity every time. You do not need heroic days. You need reliable ones. The fifth pillar is boundaries. A routine is fragile when you rely on other people to respect it. You must protect it the way a gardener protects new seedlings, gently, consistently, without apology. This does not mean shutting yourself away from the world. It means choosing wisely what you allow to interrupt your commitments. An unstoppable routine is not one that avoids all disruptions, it is one that survives them. Say no a little more often. Leave some messages unread until your responsibilities are done. Understand that every time you choose your routine over immediate distraction, you reinforce a powerful identity. I am someone who follows through. That identity is the anchor of an unstoppable routine. The sixth pillar is reflection. Do not march blindly. Each week, step back and observe. Ask yourself, what worked? What felt forced? Where did I drift? What friction can I remove? Adjust without guilt. Routines are living systems. They evolve. A wise person does not cling to a routine that no longer serves them. They refine it, piece by piece, so it fits the shape of their real life. Finally, the seventh pillar, forgiveness. You will miss days. You will break momentum. Life will intervene with its unpredictable storms. But listen carefully. Breaking a routine is not the problem. The problem is the story you tell yourself afterward. Many people fall into the trap of all or nothing thinking, if I missed one day, the streak is ruined. This is the mindset that destroys progress. When you stumble, resume gently and without drama. The most powerful routines are built not on perfection, but on recovery. If you return quickly, you do not lose progress, you reinforce resilience. Beloved listeners, an unstoppable routine is not about force. It is about architecture. You build it the way ancient builders shaped stone, slowly, deliberately, with a respect for time's power. Let others chase motivation. Let others wait for inspiration. You instead will build something quieter and infinitely stronger, a daily rhythm that does not bow to mood or chaos. A structure you can trust even when your mind is tired. And when enough days pass, when enough repetitions stack invisibly upon one another, you will wake one morning and realize something subtle but profound. You have become the kind of person you once envied. Not because you were gifted or lucky or always inspired, but because you kept showing up. And that, in the end, is how an unstoppable routine is built, one honest, humble step at a time.